What's up, guys? Foxy here with I guess you could say an update type video on this gaming chair that was sent to me, 6-7 months ago maybe, by a company called Dowinx. Now, this is their 6689 model, which features a little bit of quirky things like an extendable footrest that is very short. It doesn't really even reach halfway to my ankles. And the lumbar massaging pillow thing that plugs into a USB port. I've never used either of those, but that is not really the point of this video. I want to touch base on how it's working out for me now, because so many people have asked me about it. Now, let's consider the obvious that this is not a very long-term update. So I cannot give you guys a solid 100% score as far as like reliability. So, having said that, there are a few things I do want to talk about that are both positives and interesting negatives that you may or may not come across when purchasing or owning one of these Dowinx chairs. One of the most important positives about this chair is that it is still extremely comfortable. Now, yeah, it's never going to be as comfortable as, say, a really good quality office chair, but as far as gaming chairs go, this is probably one of the best I've ever sat in. And the material is held up really well, both as far as like the cushion and the leather material as well. There's no cracking, no fading, any sort of imperfections that may occur from typical everyday use. And I have not used any sort of cleaner or conditioner on the leather. Part of the reason of that is because the company says that this is like some weird hybrid carbon fiber-based leather. And I don't know what that means. I still have no idea what that means. But I'm a little hesitant of using like certain cleaners on it that may or may not do any sort of irreversible damage. There's a chance I'm completely overthinking that, and I could use something made by like chemical guys, or even that one, I think Jay Leno makes a leather cleaner for like car seats. Those probably would work fine. Now let's talk about the negatives. The one, you wouldn't even think about this one, but one of the negatives about this chair, and one of the things I hate the most about it, is that the armrests are not adjustable. They only move when you adjust like the back end of the chair. It's like connected in a manner from the bottom to the back end of the chair. It's kind of really odd when you consider cheaper chairs. For some reason, all of them, at least most of them, are adjustable in some way. And you may be thinking, okay, why is this an issue? Well, you see, if you don't adjust the chair low enough, for my desk in particular, and probably a lot of people's desks, I can only imagine, is that if you get off of this, right? If I get off of this chair and push the chair in, the armrests will actually slap up against the desk. And you wouldn't really think about that until you actually have a chair like this for yourself. Or if you are gaming or you are doing whatever you're doing on the computer and you want to slide in to the desk, you're going to hit the armrest unless you adjust the chair down to a level that isn't really nice for someone who's about 6 foot or over. Also, I'm still not a big fan of the wheels of this chair, let alone the base of it entirely. It seems very cheap, and I'm not a fan of how stiff the wheels are, even on carpeted surfaces. Now you would say, well, that's stupid. You're on a carpet. Of course the wheels aren't going to move as smooth as they would on, say, hardwood floor or tile. Yeah, that is correct. But I have sat in numerous other office chairs or gaming chairs that had smoother wheels on carpet than this Dowinx one. There was even a point where I was at my desk playing around on an editor or God knows what, and I had scooted back from the desk and nearly flew out of it because of how stiff these wheels are. And I did, out of curiosity, thought about upgrading the wheels to those, RGB ones you can find on Amazon for I think like $30. I've been told by a reliable source that not only are they smoother, but they give your chair an extra 13 horsepower, and I'm a big fan of that. Now, yeah, fine. Those two complaints are kind of like whatever complaints. Not really a big deal. But this next one here is pretty damn significant, and that is that the chair, shortly after assembling it, started developing creaks, squeaks, and other various noises that were very, very annoying. Which would only get worse and worse over time, to the point where, during recording sessions, I had to be perfectly still. I could not move my hands, my back, nothing. I had to be perfectly still in order to say whatever line I was saying. Otherwise, you would hear all sorts of creaks, squeaks, really, really loudly into the microphone, and that's just not good. And plus, me being Arab Italian, I move my hands like a fucking idiot all the time, so it doesn't work. You can't do that. Another thing I noticed, which really wasn't that great at the time, is that when I would go from behind the chair and pull this back, the backrest of the chair had like a foot or two of play, and it didn't sound good. And to be honest with you, I thought the thing was going to break on me at some point soon. Until I thought, okay, why don't I take my tools and just kind of tighten the bolts? Maybe for some reason, something got loose there. And to my surprise, that turned out to be primarily the big issue here, is that somehow, some way, over time, I don't know if the chair had like a weird break-in period, or for some reason, the nuts and bolts all kind of loosened up on their own, but none of the bolts or the nuts were tight at all, and I had to go back and retighten everything. Don't know what that was about, because I know damn well when I assembled this, I used tools and not just like little Allen keys or wrenches, whatever. Regardless, that fixed the problem. Not entirely, but it fixed it enough to where I'm fine. I can do whatever I want in this chair, and it's not really going to creak or squeak. But if I did, like, obnoxiously move the chair around, then yeah, of course there's going to be a little bit of noise. Granted, I will probably in the future actually go through this chair more thoroughly by adding Loctite to the bolts, or lubing up some of the areas, the mechanisms that are kind of movable. That way I am eliminating any future problem. But for right now, it works perfectly fine, and I'm thrilled that that noise is gone. That's kind of all I have for this update, everyone. I am hoping that this chair is still going to be as comfortable and as nice for however many years I have it. It is, of course, a vast improvement over that GT racing chair I had previously that developed problem after problem, and at one point the back end had to be replaced because the frame actually rusted out and snapped on me. I don't know how that happens, but it did. And apparently I'm not the only one that this has happened to. A few other people in the comments of previous chair-related videos I've made have had major issues as well with the GT Racing brand. So yeah, everyone, thank you all so much for watching. Take care, and as always, I will see you next time.